state power, war, and diplomacy. My name is JTS. Today, we're going to be going over Israel versus Hamas. Our agenda will take us through the breakdown of the recent talks, leading to the end of the ceasefire overnight, midnight Eastern Standard Time of the United States, indiscriminate bombing throughout the Gaza Strip has continued by the Israeli Defense Forces, killing thousands of civilians, women, and children, as long as alongside enemy combatants. Places to run, hide, are running few and scared, as it seems that the Israeli Defense Forces are planning on leveling the entire Gaza Strip. The international community has seemed to become quiet on the moral question of Israel and Gaza and the terrorist group Hamas that has run authority over the Gaza Strip for the last several decades. Because the moral question is, yes, Israel has a right to survive, has a right to defend itself, but the indiscriminate human rights violations that has happened in Gaza for the last 40 years plus, the indiscriminate bombings of civilian homes, killing scores of civilians at one time, women and children, innocents, non-combatants, normal, everyday people trying to etch out a life for themselves the only way they can. This is a moral question, because millions of people live in the Gaza Strip. It's not very big. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think somewhere in its widest is 6 miles, maybe like 240 miles long, maybe smaller than that. I may be thinking of the square footage or the square miles of it, but it's not very big. And this is a moral question that the U.S. has to ask. This is not something about whether or not I should vote for a president or not over his support of Israel. The support of Israel will maintain tomorrow, next year, next decade, into the future. The question is, what role will the United States play in human rights violations? What role will the United States play in indiscriminate murder of women and children and civilian populations? It's not a question of who you vote for, and plus the person you vote for is batshit crazy. It's a question of calculation and pressure and political influence, which the U.S. has abundance of. Mounting pressure on Congress, on the White House, on the embassies, on the United Nations, and continuing an open dialogue that the murder of civilians will not be tolerated by the United States government. If that pressure is put upon the White House and the Secretary of State's office, The United States' behavior towards these human rights violations will change, regardless of support of Israel. It's a matter of garnering the support of the civilians in this country and pressing our own government to take action. Because if we stay silent, we are guilty.